Sup, everybody? This is Karak with ACG, and I'm here with Reg and Silver doing the international podcast, minus little tiny itsy bitsy Johnny. He was not able to come today. Unfortunately, I guess he felt ill in some way. That's what he said. So either that, or he just doesn't like us.
Sick of us, basically. Yeah.
Thank you for liking the D&D intro. I appreciate it. It was fun to do, mess around with something like that. I'm always trying to do a different intro, and I know that some people, apparently this might be their first time to the channel ever, and they don't realize that half of the stuff I do is jokes, so you get people in here going like, what? I don't get it. It's just all jokes. We're just having a good time. We've got a bunch of weird little starting videos that we like to do. We had a couple technical issues behind the scenes. I'm hoping that they don't continue. But, technical issues and, of course, somebody not actually able to come. Yes, Silver is back as Melancholy Silver. He's returned to the 1970s.
Drained of the color again. Yeah.
We got
His joy is gone.
Guys, you got to talk him into it. You guys got to talk him into using that whatever he was using. That shit was insane, man.
Oh, true. Yeah.
It was
cell phone.
Dude, that thing was... like, I went back to cut the video, and it's like Silver's a new human, man. It's like, it's not a remaster. Silver was remade in Unreal 5 compared to, like, old GTAs. That shit was insanity. It was very good. What were you using for your video on that, Silver?
Just my Motorola G7.
Dude, cell phones. You're walking around with NASA in your pocket now, people. NASA and a DSLR. That shit was awesome. Welcome to everybody new. Thanks for returning again for abuse, everybody old. I appreciate it. We've had a good time. It's been a good week. We got Alan Wake Remastered out of the way. We got Far Cry 6 out of the way. GTA Trilogy news we're going to talk about. Just a bunch of stuff, a bunch of news that came out. So we'll bounce around. But first I want to find out what these guys have been playing. And we'll start with Reg. What games have you been enjoying?
I've been playing Metroid Dread. And that's pretty much it.
So
not a heavy gaming week.
So I saw your post. Yes, super chats are fine. I did see that. We do super chats here. They're not considered ads or whatever. So, Reg, I saw your post and you said you felt like it was a little bit of a mod. Looked a little bit like an art project or a mod project. What did you mean by that?
No, it feels like, it doesn't feel like a product of a big full-time game studio or like a full-time developer. It more feels like a love project from some indies.
Gotcha.
Like
graphically?
Quality-wise.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
like
you said the voices.
Acting that sounds like text-to-speech. The full screen just text that you have to read as the starting, which is like a pretty harsh starting when you're used to modern games. So there's like 2 lines of text you have to read, then you click a button, you have the next 2 lines of reads. So very old school, let's put it that way. I mean, it's overall a fun game from what I've played so far. The platforming works well, and it's very tense when the robot hunts you down and you don't really know where to escape to. I've definitely been on the edge of my seat a couple times. So from the gameplay loop, it's totally fine. It's just quality-wise, it doesn't feel like a full-price title.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. What I was watching definitely musically probably felt like it was full-priced. But I didn't get to hear voices, and the graphics look not basic, but basic at the same time. They're, they meander between being like, is this got a weird retro? Headlander? Do you remember Headlander? Do you guys remember?
Oh, yeah, I do. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Headlander looked retro, but awesome retro. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And this one looks retro, sometimes just retro. It's a little behind the times. What about you, Silver? What have you been playing?
The chase sequences were pretty good, right?
Yeah, the chase sequences are definitely very good. And also I've seen today, which I didn't know, that apparently this game had been rumored like 16 years ago already to be in development. So I don't know what the development history of this game really is.
Gotcha.
It kind of would make sense that it had some troubled past.
Yeah. What about you?
Imposter Factory as well, right? Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, thank you, Silver.
What were you playing?
Imposter Factory, a game that is an actual indie game that I completed. It's an RPG game, pixel graphics, so basically RPG builder style. very good game. Was about 3 hours, I want to say. Pretty emotional game. It's from the same developer that did To the Moon, I think it was called.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not gameplay mechanically. It's not very heavy. It's very light. It's basically a walking simulator as an RPG game. You experience the story, but there's not a lot to interact with or puzzles to solve or anything. But for the couple bucks it costs, it was a very enjoyable experience.
Gotcha. Now, can Silver go?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Silver.
I've still been playing Deathloop off and on.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoying that. Like, there are moments where I see why people would like consider it a game of the year material, where it kind of connects, especially with the multiplayer, when you get into like a PvP fight that's actually really fun. That's like a rooftop chase of cat and mouse. Like that aspect can be really enjoyable in it. And then there are like all the times you have to go hunting for like key codes and whatnot for a lot of the weapons and stuff in the game to unlock it. That gets to be a little tedious. I've also been playing A Juggler's Tale, which is our indie game of the week that we'll talk about later on. And Far Cry 6 a little bit. And I've been playing the new update for Phasmophobia, which has been really, really extensive and very impressive to me.
Gotcha. That's a lot of games. That's actually way more games than I was expecting for everybody.
I had some catching up to do after getting home over the weekend.
I do want to apologize to you. So I asked while Silver was going on my side because of the storm. I didn't realize what it was, but I thought something was going, all kinds of weird on my side. There's a squeal that occasionally is coming over my headphones. You guys can't hear it. I thought you guys could. Luckily, you can't. But it's a storm, and I didn't realize. This house is basically grounded on just hope. Like that's all the ground it's got for its plugins. That I live in a home that is so old that Indian burial grounds are on top of it versus it being built on top of them. Like this thing is ancient, and so if you see me occasionally go like, it's just because that is popping up there. So with me, I played a bunch of Far Cry, a bunch of Back 4 Blood, which we'll talk about. I think we'll do Back 4 Blood first, since I'm the only one who's played it so far, and we can just move past that to the ones we've all played. And then, went back to Far Cry and played a bunch of Far Cry. And I know some people were saying that it sounded like, especially because I did the 5 things I'd like to see modernized in Far Cry, I think people were under the assumption that I just hate Far Cry or something like that. In fact, I don't. This, as I stated, I found more fun in this than 5. But 5 was also a wait for a sale for other reasons, just like this one was. But I enjoyed a lot of what's going on in this game. It's not the greatest story, It's not, but when has a Far Cry, been the greatest story? I mean, I know people like Voss, but I think that he's a good villain. That story wasn't good. That's just me.
Yeah. It has some good characters from time to time, but the overall stories are...
So let's just jump into that real quick. I covered that in the video. This Far Cry's biggest issue is that they can't figure out that a game with a good villain and no actual hero means there is no game. Like, there is no player. There's nothing there for me to go, I'm against this villain. It's just this cool guy who chews up scenery. And
yeah, that's true. Also, it's also something I've seen plenty of times mentioned in chat. Like, why can't I join like the villain? Because he is the he's the
cool guy. Like, and that's the thing is, I would love to see them. They did third person. It looks like Division, admittedly, in this game. It really does when you go into the bases. But I don't know about you guys. My hope is the next one they figure out. I don't need a bunch of choice. I just need a character that matters more.
Yeah, I mean they did. This is probably the most like character development you get for a Far Cry character since Primal.
Yep.
Because Primal, you also got a name, Takar, and you got a fully voiced character in that game as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which you do in Far Cry 6 as well.
Yeah.
It's just that the character is completely. It's just kind of there. Doesn't have much in the way of like personality or depth to them. At all, and I think it's hurt once again by the decision to make it an either or in terms of gender, that you can be both man or woman, and that they're exactly the same. It makes this like either just commit to one or the other. Define your character as something. It's just and then go with that instead of this constant trying to appeal to everything and everyone all the time. That comes across more as pandering than it does as anything else.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Zach says, $2 super chat. Thank you for the super chat. He says, you guys got to talk about Battlefield beta. We will, for sure. But first we're discussing, Far Cry's. I think when that's just something that with Far Cry Blood Dragon, we got a little bit of a hero because Michael Behan, and you know him as an actor. And then you have Far Cry Primal that you do have a character who's voiced. And Far Cry 6, you got a character's voice, but it matters less. I don't have an issue with a lot of what was going on in Far Cry. Not at all. There's a lot that I liked, but at some point, man. And one of the things I was bringing up is the safety measures in the game are killing me, man. Everything is color-coded, guys. And this has started since fucking 3, but it's just got worse each game. And now it's like red and blue. Bad guy. It's like playing tag when you're 3 years old. It's or dodgeball. So you're running around in the back and people are like, and they've stated this is the anecdote factory, right? That's what we want our games to be. Anecdotes are cool, interesting blurbs. It's not very interesting for Silver to come into a podcast and say, I shot 3 guys and then got on a rappel line that I couldn't fall off of and leapt up 3 cliffs that I couldn't fall off of and then shot another guy and then slid onto a cliff that you automatically grab onto, right? It's like, it's becoming too safety measured. And I can see it. It's just like the turds from the fucking pigeons in Uncharted 4. You knew exactly where to go because pigeons had shat on everything.
Yeah, not just there. That's
every
a
game.
Hallmark of
Every game, yeah.
Basically every game.
Yeah, I'm just saying that with Ghost Recon, if you guys notice, because of the free jump, it's more of you can move around. You sort of have to figure out where you're moving. That this one, it just bothers me a little bit more. It just feels like grapple here, climb here, bad guys will be here. And do you know how you know there's bad guys in Far Cry 6? They put red bands around trees. Blue bands
blue
being good
bands
guys
in friendly areas. Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Like, what is going on? Like, at what point are we just like, play it for me, man? Like, play it for, and that's the problem is I like the shooting and I liked a lot of the other stuff, but guys, goddamn, man. Like I don't know.
Yeah, for me, the shooting was much like A New Dawn and 5.
I think it's identical to those, right?
Yeah,
feels.
Yeah, which was one of my main issues with 5 because it's just not satisfying to me at all. Because there's
gotcha.
There's little to no impact from bullets, except for when they kill.
Right. You need more. You want to see more animations.
I just want to get some sense of that the bullet actually impacting. Like you can actually shoot an arrow into a dog and it won't even wince, into the body of a dog.
I did
and it won't
see
even
a video
wince
of
at
that
it.
this morning. I saw a guy head shoot a dog 7 times before it died.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Come on, guys, we got to figure this out, man."
Yeah. I mean, it just becomes tedious at that point to me, and it removes the satisfaction from feeling like there's actual force behind your attacks or whatever. And you can get like a rocket launcher jetpack or whatever on your back that can fire rockets, and you can get various other cool stuff mounted on your back. But like when the core gameplay is kind of the shooting, and that starts to get tedious, well, then you're in trouble.
Yeah. These guys have what? 3, 4 major. So they've got they've got Rainbow Six. They've got Ghost Recon, right? And they have this.
Yeah.
Am I an Assassin's Creed, but ignoring I'm talking about modern day.
And I mean Splinter Cell, but we haven't seen that in 8 years now. So
yeah.
They are getting the VR game, but
my personal issues with this game and my personal thought process is most likely they're nervous about overlapping with the other games. And the reason why we don't see some changes is because they don't want it to be Division. Oh, Division is the other one. And Division and Ghost Recon already, flicker across one another. If you think about
very
it.
Much.
Yeah.
Especially, Breakpoint and Division, yeah.
Yeah. Are you guys going to continue to play this, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, I did. Like, I did reach a point in the game where I did kind of go, and it maybe like one of the reasons I got into it was coming back from holiday to in Italy to like dreary cold Denmark. I kind of missed the sun, so it was kind of just an escape in that sense. That was convenient with its timing. But I did reach a point in the game where I kind of went and nearly walked away, which was when early on you're attacking an outpost with another guerrilla fighter, and he starts singing Bella Ciao, and it starts like the score starts kicking in for Bella Ciao as well. And Bella Ciao is, for those who don't know, sort of an anthem of resistance groups all over the world that dates back over 100 years against like fascism and oppression. And to see it sort of commodified in like a corporate video game in that sense just felt discordant to me in the extreme, especially because the origin of the song is as a protest song for Italian agricultural laborers in the 19th century and the horrific working conditions that they labored under. And when you then add the context of Ubisoft's own record lately, and then using and commodifying that song in the game, that just felt extremely jarring and commodifying to me, to the extent that it just would cause me to stop for a minute. But I will keep playing it. I will get deeper into it, especially because I'm still very early in the game, so I do want to give it a fair shake. But so far, as others have said, it's just more Far Cry, for better or worse. Like, the gear system is different. You don't have a skill tree anymore. That's different. But outside of that, it really is the same.
What about you, Reg? You going to continue?
I didn't even get the game.
I am sorry. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I know you've definitely brought up that you weren't like, you weren't hot on it, but I didn't realize you were that not hot on it. Gotcha. So didn't even get it. Do you think, on sale maybe, half price or something?
Yeah, the original plan is, still is, to probably get it just next month on Black Friday sale. I expect it to already be quite a bit off by that time.
Makes sense. What do you guys think in chat? Are you happy with it? If you are, that's awesome, by the way, because like I said, I do. There's stuff I like. It was crazy how I had forgotten how Ubisoft games bring the most nuts people out of the woodwork. If there's nuts people, it's Sony, Xbox, right? That's nuts. Sony, Xbox, Nintendo. The next level of crazy, though, is Ubisoft fans or not fans. And this guy, no lie, he went off on me in Reddit for like 9 posts because I didn't like FSA from AMD. I mean, he was just livid. He was like, no one else has any problems. It's perfect. I'm like, it's absolutely not perfect. You can definitely tell. Oh, no one can tell. You can absolutely not. And I was just like, oh my God. And he wouldn't, no matter what, I was doing the thing where I was like, okay, I get it. You get it. We disagree, blah, blah, blah. No, you need to tell me I'm right. You're just like, damn. It's Ubisoft stuff is always really uncomfortable, and I think I get it because I think people attach a lot of their enjoyment to it. They are fun games. And if you want to have a good, fun summer, that's those are the games to play. If you just want to enjoy a random summer game, there's certainly nothing wrong with it. I get that. Name Ban again says name banners are positioned perfectly. Uh-oh. Are they not? Is he fucking with me? Yeah. Did I screw that up?
Like, uh-oh.
Oh, I did screw it up. You rock. Thank you very much. Look at that. Name Ban again, man. He's always on top of things. And he did a super chat. Name Ban again isn't the type of guy who's like, hey, guys, you need to fix this. I've been a fan for a while, but that looks like shit. Instead, he's like, I'm going to give you money to fix it. Good man. Thank you very much. Moving on from there, let's talk about Battlefield. So, no, let's not. Let's talk about betas for a second.
Well, that's one and the same, right?
Right. Okay, so here we go. Okay. I just want to point something out because I got some defenders on this, and I got some people who aren't understanding exactly what I'm saying here. When a company tells you to be excited and that this beta is going to show you the excitement and the energy and the amazingness of a game, and you play it and you have issues, and then they say, oh, don't worry, that beta's months old. They're lying to you. So we know they're lying. This is something that we saw since The Crew 2 with their fake beta just a couple days prior to the game going out. And here's a couple logical reasons why they are. One, a beta is usually to test actual issues. If this beta is old and you're reporting issues that have already been fixed, the QA team would not know they would not be able to screen out and say, we know of this issue, we don't know of this issue. And their systems will still get overburdened with old complaints. That's not how any company works, by the way. That would be as dumb. I worked at database companies. Reg is a software engineer. That would be like releasing something on beta that you've already fixed a bunch of stuff and say, do you find any problems? And they'd be like, yeah, and we know about them. So it's just not what's occurring. And you're being lied to. And if you're going to foot the bill for companies, you will hear from me. I'm not trying to be a mean on Twitter, but if you're just gonna excuse a company trying to have it both ways, I am going to call you out on that, and I'm going to call the company out on that. And they're lying to you. They are lying to you. And there's no way around that. That's just what it is. You're being lied to. It's PR. We know that that's happened. But you guys need to stop. Everybody needs to stop. We need to look at everything from Cyberpunk to The Crew and just say, no, we're not. Whatever you guys have released to us and are showing us, and we're reporting issues on, don't lie. Don't double down and lie. Just be like, okay, thank you. And move on. But the double down and lying, the moment that person posted, it was like the internet there were people from various different magazines DMing and going like, dude, what the fuck is this person even trying to say? Like, how are they? It's the same thing that happened with Cyberpunk, by the way. Same exact issue that we had with Cyberpunk. So just be aware of it. Battlefield a bunch of stuff could be fixed, for sure. But I can guarantee you that the stuff that you're seeing, that's in the game. So continue to report it. Otherwise, they would say, here's a beta, and you aren't allowed to report problems, which is, not exactly what they're doing. Now, I've played it. Have you guys?
No.
Silver, okay. We'll be pretty short on this. What do you guys think in chat? Have you played it? Do you like it? For me, I would say that it feels like what I expect. It's over the top. I saw some people saying they absolutely love it. Saw some people hate it. You get that type of thing. You get people who are down the middle. Personally, for me, it feels like it's hard to define because they've offered so little in the beta, if that makes sense. So you don't know what you're getting. Like, you don't know the whole list. You know how it is if there's 4 modes and you only get 1 mode in the beta? What if you like the other 3 modes, but you hate this one? Or what if you just like this 1 mode and you hate these other 3? So right now, it's very difficult to say. And I would just say it's got pretty good shooting. It's a Battlefield game. It's over the top. Some people are saying they don't like the maps. I don't know if you guys are big Battlefield map fans, but I don't track the maps that much.
No.
Yeah. Are you guys going to get it?
Well, I do have the EA subscription anyway, so it is included, and I will install it when it's releasing.
Is that day one for the EA? Okay,
for
so
the Pro, yeah.
For the Pro,
not for the normal, but for the Pro.
And how much is that? 15?
I know the original list price is, I think, 100 a year.
Okay.
For the Pro, but it includes the Ultimate Edition of the game. So basically, I mean, Battlefield the Ultimate Edition is already 100. So
exactly. So it pays for itself. If
you're planning to go for the biggest one, you already are there.
Yeah, for sure. What about you, Silver?
No. Like the modern setting doesn't really appeal to me at all. If I were to get into a Battlefield, it would be like Battlefield 1, 2, or Battlefront.
Okay.
That appealed to me significantly more. Like for the modern setting, I would definitely prefer Arma.
Yeah, true that, right? Looking in here, it looks like I'm leaning more and more, or it's leaning more towards a Call of Duty arcade feel to this person. Feels like a good Battlefield game with expected bugs, Devin says. Yeah, that's another thing. It doesn't necessarily mean it won't be fun even with those bugs.
True.
Like that can happen. We've all played a buggy game. For sure. It's just, I just wanted to inform people that, like, quit defending them. There is real times when companies need defending, or a developer needs not needs, but defending them doesn't require a stretching of your logic like this does.
Right.
I enjoyed the beta as well. I'm still going to get it. Michelle says, I'm sad they made the class system pointless now. Everyone will just get the meta build. God, that's so class based in all games for me, though. Where whenever I want to play a game and it's class-based and I go in with my idea and people are like, your idea's stupid. Its DPS is 3.2 points.
Leave the
lower.
team. You're not optimally.
Leave the team. Leave the team. Yeah, dude. Where they see your class setup and they'll like kick you or they'll leave and you'll be like, why is everybody leaving? And then you find out on Reddit, somebody's like, well, dude, you don't have the M4.
You had the wrong armor type. Yeah, it's like, nah.
Wow, man. That's why you guys will hear me always bitching about like how a game connects, how easy it is to play with others, because some of these games you're going to need as many people playing as humanly possible because it's going to fall apart pretty quick, you know, and you're going to need to be able to jump in with your friends. Let's see. I agree the beta's... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add towards the whole beta topic. Like I was saying in chat also yesterday, the only way that it would be, or the only sensible way that it would actually be months old, is if the current build is a disaster by comparison. Like if you pull everything apart and you know that the older stuff is way more stable, then you would go with the older build because that's the more presentable one.
That is a sad but good point. There you go. There's your that's software logic for you. That's true, man. Let's hope that's not the fact, right? Let's hope it's just somebody being a jackass and wanting to, you know, not defend bugs in the game, because otherwise I'm tired. Like this is year. We got a lot of good competition too. We want games to be good. I mean, even in the what would we call the Aliens World War Z style gameplay? Back for Blood. What would we call that?
Horde. The
Horde
mode,
style games.
Yeah.
Look at that competition, man. That it's hammer. World War Z's got Aftermath, and that's a remake or remaster. You just have all these games coming, and let's move on from Battlefield and talk about Back for Blood. So, dude, I saw some people dropping reviews. Not ready to do that, but this game is everything's locked, man. It's so weird. Every single thing is locked to online. So it's basically like your DRM. So if you jump into the single player, it's still, you can't unlock any cosmetics or anything. That all has to be done online with others. And so I'm playing it, and these bots are amazingly bad. They are fucking so bad.
Yeah, I saw your screenshot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, the stuff they do is amazing. When you put down like a machine gun for a nest, you know, because you'll get the temporary machine gun, I can guarantee you the moment you put it down, they will step in front of it. It's never not happened in that game. It's never not happened. The moment you put it down, they stand right in front of it. And you're just like, bah! So I just said, fuck it. So a bunch of my footage is me with the minigun just right in the person's face. And they're like, hey, man, hey, you're hitting me. And I'm like, yep. Because occasionally I'll hit a zombie with it. They're so fucking bad. It is ridiculous. They're caught up on things. They get lost. They get stuck. They will never save somebody. So here's what's weird. They'll save you. So if you fall, which I don't know why they added this, but when you fall like Vermintide, do you guys remember that shit where you'd fall and they'd be like, you know, the dwarf is helping you. But so you can still fall, which is weird, especially when you're in a building. Why am I falling into this hole? But whatever, you can ignore all that. So you're running around. They will save you from that. But there's this particular weapon that stickies humans in place, right? Completely stops them from being in any way usable until somebody hits them and gets them out. They will not ever get anybody out. So I have been battling by myself so many times where there's one other bot and he's standing beside two people who are stuck and he's looking at me. And I'm just laying down suppressing fire, looking at him going like, dude, do something. And he's like, and these two dudes are like, help me, let me out, help me get out so I can help you fight. And I'm like, I would, man. But these guys, like, I have to stop people from getting in the room. It's so bad. And so it's set up for people, obviously, right? It's like set up for people running in. But then when you jump in, I didn't realize how basic the levels were going to be. They're basic, man. They're like trailer park in America basic. Just like room, door, room. That's it. I mean, they have occasional times where you're climbing up, a log or something to get into a place. But I even asked in my Discord, I was like, they're not thinking the cards are going to be the only reason people would replay this thousands of times, right? Apparently they are. I don't know, man. So far, that game is rough. Like, beta level, I guess, would be the easiest way to describe it. So, I don't know, man. It feels weird. It feels like a lot of these companies are sticking to October when they should delay it. When they should delay something, like delay battle. Maybe they don't want to delay into February because they're worried about all these other companies.
It's already so full. Yeah.
You guys probably won't do Back for Blood, right?
No.
Yeah, I think you're.
No.
I mean,
my one interaction with the beta, like the actual beta months and months ago, that was enough of that game.
It's really disappointing with the bots because from what I remember in both Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2, bots were decent in those games.
Well, then let's hope they update them and they become decent. Maybe they have a line of code that they've forgotten. Waxo Plays, $4.99 Super Chat says, Back for Blood's beta was fun, but I felt like Turtle Rock had been outdone at their own game with titles like Vermintide and World War Z. And I would agree.
Yeah.
I think that's exactly where we are right now, is that these companies are moving forward and delivering things that just... World War Z, guys, World War Z's got a couple issues with the bots, but it's not even close. I can play that game with 2 people and bots and they're saving you. They're doing what they're supposed to do. Not in this game, man. They do nothing. And then you get into the main base, and I saw all these icons, and I was like, oh, shit. I got a main base. I got these icons. What the fuck is all this? It's the menu. And I got to tell you, I just don't get it. I don't know why games do that. Why would I walk to a dude if I hit start and that dude's menu is in the menu section? You got to figure out something.
Hello, Fable 3.
Yeah. Well, hello, many multiplayer games are doing that. So if people think I'm just dinging on them, I'm not. Any multiplayer game that does that, that's killing me, man. Like, I saw it all, and I was like, oh, there's a boxing ring. There's this thing. What is all this? And then I hit the first guy, and it's like, customization for your character. I'm like, wait, that's in the menu. And I click one button, and boom, it's right there. Customization for guns, very lean. 1 or 2 skins per gun, many skins only having 1. Now, my hope is I'm only seeing 1 and that more are there. There's a couple that has 3 or 4, but I'm seeing a lot with 1. And my hope is that for whatever reason, there's some that like are hidden or secret around the levels and they won't even show you in your drop down. Because right now they're terrible. Like they're tiger stripes, like you get the typical Panzer orange and black stripe where it just looks terrible. And you're like, yeah, all right. And then everybody looks the same. Characters, skins, 4 or 5 apiece. I got 1 new one. Didn't look too bad. And shooting's pretty fun. You upgrade. I will say the card system, once you've played the campaign levels, if you don't die, you continue to gather cards each time. And by the time I was at the end of the first act, I had like 19 cards. And there were some cool cards. So I was bitching in the Discord going, +5 stamina is not going to sell me on this game. But I did get a card that said secondary weapon never runs out of bullets. It had a negative to it. Reload speed was slower. But then I had another card that said you can have a primary as your secondary. So I had 2 machine guns, which normally you cannot do at all. You have to have the handgun. And that was, or a shotgun and a machine gun, which that did change it. And then by the time I was done, I had like sneakers on, track pants, like a assassin, and a tracksuit, and my stamina was like +70 or +80, which meant I could run a great deal farther. That kind of stuff was cool. But who's going to want to play the same maps? Like, maybe that's just a game, maybe that's just a level of gamer I'm not. But the idea of returning to that 8,000 times is, I mean, I don't know. Do you guys return to anything that many times? The table, food table?
Especially.
I mean, yeah.
What do you return to that many times?
I mean, especially in these co-op multiplayer games, like Phasmophobia only has, I think, like 8 or 9 levels that you then go between. Like Vermintide had only a couple that had like, I think 12 or some. So there were a lot of repetitive levels, playing the same levels over and over again in that game as well. Okay. I think it's sort of in the nature of these games to do that.
Right, but what I'm saying is does that nature sell you?
Yeah, because it's not. I mean, it's not the repetitive nature of the levels that sells me. It's the fact that I may be playing through the same level, but that experience is still going to be different because of other factors than the other times I've been through it. Either because of the makeup of the team that I'm going through the level with, or the the randomized nature of the encounters that I have as I progress through the level. Like maybe I met a particular enemy at this point on my last run through this level, but on this run through, I'm meeting an entirely different enemy and so forth. So you will see variety in the levels in that way, generally, especially with these games that are like coordinated with by some kind of like AI, that dungeon master or whatever it is that decides the enemy composition of the encounters that you run into as you progress through the levels. That's where the variety comes in more than it is the actual like level design.
Yeah, it definitely does that. There was times where I jumped in and there was like 2 boss guys right at the starting, but that doesn't sell me because it's 2 boss guys I've already faced.
Right.
So like I get what you mean. I guess I just need far more than enemy variety being changed. So it's just not my style of game, I guess.
I mean, for me, it's also, it is also just the nature of playing these games cooperatively that gives that different experience as well every time. Like the banter you get with your friends, depending on the encounters and so forth.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I just find that a review of your friends and not the game. Like, because I could do. There are other games where I feel you could get more change up. So why play the game that gives you less? Does that make sense? So like Vermintide versus Aliens. Aliens is one of the most basic games I've ever played in this form. It's just absolutely offers nothing of worth. So you have Aliens or you have Vermintide. If you said, let's play one, Aliens would never be on the list. Even if I played Vermintide multiple times, because Vermintide just offers a good deal more. I guess what I'm noticing is just competition more than anything. And it's hard to jump into these lesser than games, I guess, for me right now.
It is. I mean, for a game like Aliens, I think it would the appeal would pretty much exclusively come from the franchise.
From the franchise, yeah. Yeah, true.
And the IP.
Yeah, it's exciting to see all these. Back for Blood, I think, is just neutered on release. It's in dire shape. I just don't see any like excitement around it. But there's other games coming out, and that's good. In this genre, I mean, I do like Vermintide. We got Darktide, right? From Fat Shark. Darktide, the Warhammer 40,000 version of Vermintide. Yep. I wonder if they're just going to put Tide after everything. Modern Tide. Vermintide, Darktide. I'm excited. I'll check that out. Anything else to add to this before we jump into GTA Trilogy? No? Because Back for Blood was pretty much me. What did you guys think about this GTA Trilogy Remaster? It looks like. Not a remake, but remasters. Is this exciting? No? Yes?
No.
Wow.
We're on a good run here, but no, also because if it's just a remaster, there are plenty graphical update packs for the older games.
Yeah. Ho!
On the PC.
I didn't think about that. I get what you're saying. That maybe not on console, but on PC. Yeah, true. I had not. That is true, man. That is true.
Hell, look at some of the mods we've seen for Grand Theft Auto 4.
I know
since it's released, right?
Yeah, true. Yeah,
the ice enhancer mods. Yeah.
Oh, dude, those things destroyed my 8800, but it was well worth it, right? It was well worth it. That's interesting. You mentioned that. I hadn't thought about that. I guess. What do you guys think in chat on that? That remaster, or that like a GTA remastered, maybe because it's got so much support prior. You know, maybe that's not as big of a hit. I mean, it'll be a hit to everybody. You know, people will buy it. But what I mean is, maybe it's a little less impactful than I had originally thought of. I don't know, man. I guess we'll have to see.
I guess, to be honest, I have the hard time imagining that the gameplay from those first 3 games, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, still hold up today. Because like even back then, like the shooting and like action aspects of the game were not sort of cutting edge at that time. What was cutting edge was like the open world and the way that like you engendered like chaos and that stuff. But like the actual mechanics of like the shooting and the movement was not great even then, and it's only become even more dated since.
Do you also feel that it's sort of an odd man out because San Andreas is such a big game compared to the other two? San Andreas is like, boom, you can get fat. Boom, you can work out. Boom, you can go to 3 cities. You know, San Andreas is a monster. If you really look, dude, the number of people who probably started and couldn't even figure out how to finish San Andreas is probably higher than have played entire other titles. Like, it's ridiculous how big that game is. So it feels... Yeah. I like Vice City. It's going to be weird to see if Phil Collins' music is still in there. That's one thing we talked about in the last podcast was licenses. But I'm excited. But I get it. What about you in chat? Are you guys excited for this? I hadn't really thought about the PC thing. Maybe first-person mode, because they had first-person mode in GTA 5 for the next-gen consoles. You know, that could help the shooting. Definitely.
Yeah, but I don't see how the engine could do that.
It's switching engines. It is switching engines. Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a remaster, but it is moving to Unreal 5, which is what they did with GTA 5. So, or Unreal 4 or 5.
Well, I mean, that is interesting.
Yeah. 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 So it would be, so it's been so long, but like Vice City, I remember. I don't remember 3 at all. I mean, I don't remember 3. Like 3 had, was it Vince or Vin?
No, they had an unnamed protagonist. You were not. You didn't have a voice either. You were the guy in like the leather jacket and the green like cargo pants,
right?
And that sort of Elvis Presley sort of style kind of hairdo.
Yeah, that was back when the faux hawk was just starting to become a thing,
like almost a pompadour thing or faux hawk or whatever.
Yeah. I'm excited for it just to see what it looks like. It's going to be interesting. You know, they had flipper hands. Remember in the old days when like nobody's fingers were separated because of the engine. So it'll be fun to see that first time when they're like gameplay. That's what I'm excited for. And did they do an announcement of the time or date on this? I don't know if you guys saw it, but I didn't see one. I just saw that they said that the anniversary is coming up, but I didn't see that they stated the date of the game. Oh, somebody said, okay, some people are saying his name is Claude, other people saying his name is not Claude.
It was, they called like he was named later, but he's never actually specifically named in the game.
Understood.
From what I remember. Like no one refers to him as Claude.
Does anybody in chat know when the date for this game is coming? What do you guys like? To me, that's going to be the
only thing I'm currently seeing is like data minor things that the launcher is being updated to support it and stuff, but no date.
The launcher that just killed everybody's soul when Red Dead came out.
Oh yeah.
Remember who was it? Was it Johnny?
Johnny.
Yeah, poor Johnny. I don't think he ever was able to start it with that launcher. Like that launcher was always an issue for him.
I took I think 4 or 5 days till it finally worked.
That's a shitter. That's such a shitter. Yeah, I'm excited for this, man. I'm excited. I hope everybody is. You know, you get to jump in here if you've never played these. Because, guys, when was GTA 3 released? I mean, we're talking PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Oh, yeah, of course. Boy, I smoked the dope on that one. Because I just said 20 years ago is the anniversary, or that they did the anniversary. You're right. Yeah, duh. 20 years ago, that means a good number of people watching the podcasts or seeing these announcements have never played those games unless they've revisited a PC mod of them or, you know, something like that. So, yeah, I'm excited for San Andreas, man.
I don't know how far along it is. Sounds like it's pretty much ready, the remaster.
That's what... So, okay. So when I read that, I thought it was saying it's coming out next month because of the way they wrote it and the launcher already being updated. Maybe, man.
Yeah.
Dude, wouldn't that be awesome?
I mean, the 20 years for Grand Theft Auto 3 would be on the 22nd of this month.
Yeah. King Mufasa, love your content, but I cannot stand dudes who wear sunglasses indoors. Serious. Leave. Serious. I have cataracts. I have an issue with light. Stated it multiple times. If you say you love my content, you would have known that. Fuck off. Continue. It's over. That's my love. That's my love
of Rockstar's. Speaking of Rockstar Store, they did finally remove Agent from it as an upcoming game.
Did they?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So that was the old PS.
That's been a long time coming. Yeah, it was originally announced for PS3, That's how far our bracket goes. In 2018, they canceled or they didn't renew the trademark for Agent. So it was in the cards that it's been abandoned, but it's no longer in their list of upcoming games either. So I mean, we haven't even heard anything at all in like 7 years, I think.
Do you guys remember?
There was a leak of like screenshots or something.
Exactly. Wasn't there a gas station? There was a leak of like a gas station in like a desert or something, and blowing up, and that was
like
it.
An area 51 kind of thing. I think.
Yeah, it's just, dude. I mean, we're seriously, you're staring down the barrel of these games that either they get announced and they'll never ever come out, like, and then you get ones like Last Guardian, which took 2 gens or a gen and a half to finally come out. So, you know, I mean, what? Who knows? I mean, I'm Reg would have rather had Last Guardian never come out. So maybe he's happy Agent's not coming out.
True that.
Did you hate that game or just dislike that game? Or did you like it but hate the end?
I mean, I didn't hate it enough to just stop playing. But, I mean, I guess I love to hate it.
Yeah, that's pretty evident.
What do people think in the chat? Last Guardian. I've never asked this.
I liked it.
I did too, but I was warned. Yeah. I was definitely warned a couple times that the animal was going to be pretty crazy.
I think I mentioned this at the time, but it really reminded me a lot of Black and White. That terms of like creature AI. An interaction with it.
Yeah. I remember Reg, so we were warned. We were like, the creature's got his own, whether this was a lie or not, right? They were like, the creature's got his own attitude. Sometimes he won't do exactly whatever. And then, so I posted my review, and I can't remember. It wasn't too soon. People had jumped in to the Discord, and the hate for that bat. People are like, I want to kill that bat. I want to kill that bat. I hate it now.
I was so happy at the end.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude. So they announced
if it was even a hack, so the last news sounded like it was just like basically a misconfiguration that allowed people
to see if it goes back live. And if it doesn't, I'll just save it. But so
we're back, and then I think we're back now. Yeah.
We're back, and then I just popped us off and turned us off and turned us back on. Yes. Whatever, hey, that's the way we roll. So anyway, when you look at like Twitch itself, the one thing I heard was that they had removed passwords. The hacker had removed personal data so that it didn't hurt the streamers. Is that correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. That's a kick in the nuts to Twitch, right? That's like, we're just gonna screw you over.
Yeah, he apparently is pissed at the platform and not at the people streaming there. At least that was also what I had read.
Gotcha. Thanks, Larry Watch, for the super chat. You rock, $5. So, I mean, people were saying that like they were upset. I saw Cliff Basinski was like, I saw that creators were making this much money, which is more than developers, blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
well, I mean, so are actors, etc. I mean,
right? I guess I wasn't too bothered. I guess all I say is developers should get more, right? But if those people are creating content, people are liking and paying for it.
Yeah.
I mean, doesn't that come a little close to us saying you can't do porn or you can't do, like we're starting to control somebody's actions.
Also, I don't know. You just have to spend like 5 minutes in the channel of a big streamer, and you know what kind of dough is rolling in there. Like I mean,
yeah, dude, yeah, banana hands level money, right? I wish we got that. I was talking to somebody a couple days ago. They were needing help with their channel, and they were telling me what they were getting for one advertisement. And I was like,
right. Well, that's on top of that still. Yeah.
Yeah.
So much money.
It was on top of all the subscriptions and stuff. Yeah.
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 I mean, they got hacked. Should have fixed it. Now the source code's out there, right? So now what does that mean?
Well, basically Twitch is open for download. I mean, it's just everything's out there.
So what does that mean, Reg? Do you know what that means? I mean, I'm pointing at you because you've programmed. But do you even know what this means?
The whole source code of the website is for download. All the tools, their internal like hacking attempt tools, which apparently, didn't really work out in this case. An unannounced Steam competitor that they are working on or have been working on.
I did see that. Yeah.
The payouts from 2019, I think they were the creator payouts. Twitch, it is Twitch for download. The more interesting part is also that the file was called, I think, Part 1. So is there a Part 2 coming?
What does that mean for Twitch? How do they, if your source code is taken, right? Yeah. What happens? Is there a way to fix that, or are you just from now on forever?
Someone has the source code now, or someone is good. I mean, it's for public download.
Right, but what I'm saying is for Twitch themselves, what does Twitch do to stop? Do they look inwards and say, okay, now we need programmers to like change?
They could do, for example, a security audit, make sure that all the codes, like they reset all the streamer codes, stuff like that, like exchange all tokens. Change all API keys. You have to go through everything and at least change the authentication. And then, I mean, the source code is open. So if there's any exploits people can find, you'd also want to patch those before someone else can exploit them again.
Yeah, I felt a little weird seeing the what do you call it? The amounts. I've always been somebody that if somebody doesn't want to tell me what they make, I'm fine with that. I'm always a little uncomfortable with, like, because that is personal business. I don't, there's no connection between me and knowing what somebody makes. So seeing the posts where people were, getting lambasted for how much they made, I was like, not really into that. They can make what they make, but Twitch itself, like, once we find out how this happened, which will be to me like the more interesting part. I'm sure they might not say exactly how, but I hope a leak happens and we find out how. But the
last I saw today was some kind of server misconfiguration, they claimed.
Server misconfiguration? Really? Holy shit. Damn. So not even like, it just turns out that like changing something is causing, I don't know.
Yeah, the last sound of it was more like nobody really hacked in or
it was something really was open
put in a major effort into breaking in. More that they found an exploit in broken software.
Well, we'll have to see. I mean, what it all means. Hopefully that means also YouTube and the other companies make sure they're tight, that their shit doesn't have the same exact problem. But, I mean, overall, I don't know if it affects, other than changing your authentications, I don't know if it affects anybody working currently, other than the personal data being out there. When it comes to how much they make. But rich as heck. Just one big miscommunication. Nothing to see here. Creative Monster says, yeah, exactly. Someone can use the source to code a Twitch stream intervention tool to allow people to hijack streams. Yeah. Right? They can probably do anything.
I mean, there are probably a number of, like in every software program, bugs in the code. Mm-hmm. No, basically it's a race. Who's faster? Them securing every hole they have, or someone exploiting what they can find.
Yeah. And then moving on from there, I don't know, we just for a second talked about this, but basically the studio who worked on Lost Judgment and who worked on Like a Dragon is doing Like a Dragon 2. So that's exciting for everybody who likes those games. I don't know how long that'll be. 2024, I suppose. Right? I'm just looking at the timeline. But Like a Dragon hit, man. That thing did hotcakes. Wasn't Like a Dragon also on Xbox Game Pass day one? I believe it was, right?
I think it was on the console Game Pass.
Yeah. So, I don't know about you guys,
but at least it is now. I don't know if it was on launch.
That game did really well. We'll probably see that. I would like to see another Yakuza, but I have this weird feeling, and I mean, you know what I mean, a real time. I just have this feeling I'm not going to see it anymore. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that it's over. But
I mean, they do sometimes split off into other series. So maybe like they did Judgment, they might create something new.
Just do something completely different than the Judgment one. Yeah. I'm hoping we get to see that because I'm a big fan. Did you do any of these, Silver? Did you do Like a Dragon or Yakuza or Lost Judgment?
No, none of them. They're still too Japanese for me, really, to take an interest in.
Yeah, because of the story. You mean the story beats, like the men dressed as babies?
Yeah, all that, and just all the the weird sex clubs and the or hostess clubs, I should say. Sorry.
I mean, that
God
is
damn, that's my favorite part.
Japan, right? I mean,
that's my favorite part. No, but I get.
That's not even video game fantasy.
No.
Yeah. Love hotels or whatever. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, not just like the entire like atmosphere of it and the characters and what. Yeah, yeah.
Did anybody in here in chat play Lost Judgment? I feel like Lost Judgment 1 and 2, once again, well, 2, I did see a lot of love for it on Twitter when it came out, but I feel like, I don't know, man, I feel like this last couple months, some of the big games haven't had the PR. Lost Judgment just sort of came and went. Does that make sense? Like, even Deathloop had its own PR, but it was almost more towards once reviews came out and people arguing over it. It wasn't, I mean, we didn't even know what that game was until, a month prior, where we were all trying to still figure out, like, is the timer? Is that what matters? Is this what matters? But it just feels like a lot of these games, we're not seeing a lot of PR. Maybe I'm just in the wrong place to see it. Maybe it's on TV channels or something, and I don't watch Desperate Housewives or whatever the fuck's on now. What is that, Real Housewives of L.A. or whatever? Maybe that's what it is.
Desperate Housewives.
There are a lot of those, like Beverly Hills, New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it does look, let's see. So reading these, I have, let's see. Love Lost Judgment. Lost Judgment is Game of the Year choice for me. That's Jake. Jason loving it. Mr. Sir Henry MF, PC gamer, so it's impossible. Wait. Oh, yeah, it's not on PC.
Lost Judgment, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it is probably coming, I would imagine.
I don't know. Probably not.
Yeah, because remember, Silver, this was the one where the agent of the movie star who plays the main character in Lost Judgment is refusing to allow it on PC. It's that thing where it has nothing to do with Sega. It's where the company's like, we will remove the star's okay for the IP to even be shown, his face to be shown. They hate PC. Like, they just... it's so weird, man. But group, I mean, it makes sense because Japanese PC is just not huge in Japan. But I don't know why I said it makes sense. It's still.
I mean, we did get a major announcement on that front, though, that Capcom said that they're making PC their main platform going forward as a Japanese studio,
because it's so important outside of Japan.
Right? Like, and PCs, we joked about this, but PCs, what the games are made on, even though, it's technically, what do you call it? It's,
and I mean, Capcom is the Japanese developer that's had like the most success with PC ports over the last 10 years. Everything from Resident Evil to Dragon's Dogma and
Monster
on and
Hunter.
on. Yeah, Monster Hunter too. Like, Monster Hunter sold more for Capcom on PC than even on Sony PlayStation.
I mean, what? And also, guys, Capcom's got to look at their platform numbers, right? At some point, they got to be like, we can't sell PlayStation and Xbox because the chips aren't even out. But there's tons of PCs. So at least for now, let's switch it over. In a weird way, this is helping not PC gamers, but it's helping gamers get games on more platforms. And then Jim Ryan yesterday was on like the one show with Ryan from IGN and was saying that he wants to see, PlayStation games on more systems. And it absolutely should happen. Like, it's not, I just don't get it, man. For example, Far Cry was better on my Xbox Series X than my PC. So to me, it does, even though I have the console and the PC, you'll have some people be like, PC is the only way to play. It's like, guys, you ever had a driver issue on a PC that just won't let you launch a game? I do right now. Back 4 Blood won't launch on my PC at all. And I've got the version for review. Won't launch. But guess what does launch? Xbox. So, what's up? Looks like Lord Addict showed up. What's up? He says, or Gaming Addict, he says, I overslept, missed the whole show. The Far Cry grind finally caught up to me. LOL. Hey, guys. I think he probably likes Far Cry.
Good to have you here, brother.
Yeah.
You haven't missed the whole show just yet.
Yeah, you haven't missed anything worthwhile at all, other than we completely collapsed because I teased the bat in...
And now you did it again, so...
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're gone.
Uh-oh, bat. Okay. Karak, kick masturbator. Karak, kick masturbator. I don't know what that means.
That's a username in there.
Yeah.
Is masturbator doing something he shouldn't be doing?
Well, he's trying to bait people, I guess.
That guy dressed like a bee has semen left in his beard. That's awesome. Nothing wrong with that. It's not true. But nothing wrong with that.
I mean, nothing wrong with a fun time.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. What are you shaming? You shaming? Anyway, what else do we got? Let's see. Looking at the news here. Sony testing PS5 trials. That was actually exciting to see, man. 3 games though, right?
Well,
what 3 games? It was
only in the UK. Yeah.
And only in the UK, but that's exciting to see. They were doing demos, and they were not small, right? Weren't the time?
Well, it's the full game that's time limited.
Yeah. And I, if I remember right, the time was way long enough to
from what I've read,
it worthwhile.
It's 6 hours, but there's a big asterisk to that. It's from the start of the download.
Uh-oh.
So depends on how fast you download.
Oh. Yoinks. Yeah. And PlayStation has slow downloads.
Mm.
All right. Well, that's not so. So what do you do? And do they start prior to the download finishing, or is it one of those things where the entire download has to finish? Because if so, and you don't want a Call of Duty demo, you'd never be able to play it. It'd be the demo would be over by the time you got the entire Call of Duty. That's, man. Sony.
The EA Play trial, those also have time-limited trials on console, 10-hour limit. Those just count when you launch the game.
Yeah, right.
I'm not sure why they don't implement something like that.
Dude, it's Sony, man. Right? They can't. Sony can't. Sony. They've always got to hurt themselves a little bit, right? There's a little bit S&M going on. A little bit of self-harm is always good for Sony. They just can't figure it out. They cannot get it exactly nailed down, but it's still a plus. I want to see more demos. I want to see the companies do it. That's awesome. Imagine that, guys. Game Pass is already a demo in a way, but just the ability to hit that button and be like, I just want to check out Days Gone or whatever, and just be able to do it and not, not have to buy it on Steam. A lot of people would be like, you can just get a refund on Steam. Well, they already warn you a certain number of refunds in a certain time, we may do a certain thing.
Yeah, if they don't like the amount of refunds you do, they just say, nah.
Yeah, I love the idea of demos. I'm seeing people in the chat say, Hell Let Loose has a 10-hour trial on Series X. I don't know what Hell Let Loose is.
That is a multiplayer game. PvP.
Hell Let Loose. Yeah, I haven't heard of that one.
Second World War, I think.
That one. The big one with a huge number of people, and it just went live a couple weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago. I think it just went out of early access or something and came into Game Pass. I think that's the one that popped up.
Fairly recently released. Yeah.
Haven't checked that one.
Yeah. I think it's been in early access for a long time as well.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff out there that I would check out for a demo time and not buy though. 6 hours, that's a long time. 6 hours, there's a lot of games that I'd probably be demoing and never buy. I mean, that's sometimes I won't return something because I won't want to hit the refund button and wait for the money to come back or whatever. But with demos, man, let's see. They can't get PSN now straight either. Game Pass makes it look like a joke. And I have a PS5 and Xbox Series X. Hell Let Loose is WWT Battlefield. Abbreviated review says, what's up, Inyo? He says, it's more of a realistic WW2 shooter. Elvlon says there's been a resurgence of demos on Steam. I wasn't aware of that. What were we going to say, Red?
Yeah, there was a Steam festival again with a couple hundred demos.
Oh, no shit? Oh, that's not bad. What were you going to say, though, Reg? You were going to... I think I...
No, I was going to drop in that Hell Let Loose is also one of the monthly games this month on PlayStation Plus subscription.
Oh, no shit? That's cool.
Yep.
I saw some people were mad, I guess, about the updates that they got on Sony, the free games. I saw some news articles where people were mad that the free games are terrible or whatever. And I'm like, that's what's going to happen, right? It's going to happen with Game Pass too, where people start to be like, oh, it's not acceptable anymore. We're so close to getting that. Speaking of so close, I was so close to forgetting that Discord has questions. So Silver's going to do indie games. I'm going to do questions. Then we're going to do free games by Reg. So Silver, while I'm looking up these questions on Discord, what is the indie game of the week?
The indie game of the week is
I
a
love how he
small-
changed to an announcer
It's
voice.
basically a graduation project made by, I think, a team of like 4 or so German developers for
Mhm.
they initially made like a vertical slice of it. And then they basically fell so in love with it, got such good feedback that they made it into like a full project and are now using it as their like graduation project, which is a Jockler's Tale, currently available on Steam. It is a 2D puzzle platformer game in which you basically take the control of this puppet, and you have to navigate her through on her journey across various obstacles. And the main hook of the game is basically that it's told by a narrator who is the puppeteer, who is basically putting on a puppet show in like a medieval tavern, and narrates the entire game. And he does so rhyming and stuff, and he like voices the characters that she comes across as well and stuff. She starts out in the circus, working for the circus, and then has to run away and sort of strike out on her own and explore the world. It's quite charming. It's very, very. I really like the graphical look of it. It's very beautiful in places. The story's pretty decent. It has a decent twist to it. It's fairly short. It'll only run you about 2 hours or so. So the price point is a little high, but I found it worthwhile. It's a charming little game. It's colorful. It has a nice hook to it, a nice concept. Like as you move, like you actually see the puppet strings holding her up and holding up all the characters.
Gotcha.
And they will interfere with the objects in the world. So like you can't move her through like a tunnel because her strings holding her up will block her from going into the tunnel and whatnot.
That's actually cool. I like that.
And so you have to work around that. And like if you like fall into a pit, like the puppeteer will like pull her up and say, no, I'm not. No, I have to save you again, and complain about it and stuff. So yeah, it's quite fun in that way. And yeah, it offers a pretty interesting twist towards the end of the game, and a pretty decent ending.
I want a World Police game so bad, Team America World
Right.
Police, because I love the idea of the Muppet, or what is that, puppet or Muppet? Muppet is your hand up somebody's butt, right? Isn't that a Muppet?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
a puppet is the strings. Dude, it would be so, like you just said, where, it can stop you from going play. The ideas that you could do. Imagine like clipping their strings to kill them, or like having like magic spells that ninja stars that slice the strings of enemies.
I mean, not gonna spoil anything, but that cutting strings does play a part in the game.
Yeah, see? So there you go. Like that kind of stuff. I love the idea of a Muppet is Sleeve, Matt says. Wow. Sleeve isn't here today. You can't attack somebody who's not here, damn it. Yeah, so again, it's what name of the game for people who just jumped in, and price one more time.
The game is A Juggler's Tale. The price is, let me just find it. Sorry.
No, it's all right.
Need to scroll all the way up to find it. There we go. Price is like $15.
$15. All right. So check that out for Indie Game of the Week. I'm going to answer some questions here real quick, or we will. The Audigy, who has been gone for a while, come back to the Discord. I'm not quite sure why. Like, you should have known. He says, quick question regarding Xbox comparisons. Oh, in reviews. It was mentioned that Far Cry 6 on the Series X was hitting 60 FPS while the base model's not so much. Where would the Xbox X fall in terms of how it's been performing overall with the newer games taking advantage of the next generation? More and more. Where would the Xbox Series X fall in forms of how it's been performing overall with the newer games taking advantage of the next generation? I don't know if I understand that question. If you're just simply asking if it's taking advantage of the new games, I would say very few do, just like the PlayStation 5, other than your resolution bump. So I'll just leave it at that. If that was your general question. And where would it fall in terms of fall always indicates to me that he might have a high and a low end, like maybe the PS2 and how well it did, but I'm not quite sure what he means. Norwegian says, what, aside from Xbox Game Bar, would you record for or would you recommend for screenshots and video capture where it actively always is caching footage until you press save? OBS. Do you guys use anything other than OBS?
I mean, GeForce Experience.
Yeah,
or
GeForce
whatever.
Experience and OBS both have something to that effect. OBS has the replay bar thing now, and you can give it gigs and gigs of space to basically just... The problem is I think people are not... Here's why I just record everything. Because it's already stealing your FPS anyway. Because it's shadow recording. And then it's just saying, get rid of the old thing, get rid of the old thing, get rid of the old thing, get rid of the old thing until you hit save, and it goes back to a certain point and saves that chunk. For me, man, if you're going to try to capture footage, which it sounds like Nora's talking about, dude, you might as well just record it and know exactly where something starts and ends. Versus later on going, how far back does this go? So that's just me. Mr.
Also,
Hovis, go ahead.
We're also at the point now, thankfully, where a lot of the games coming out now, especially the AAA games, have photo modes for screenshotting.
Very much so, yeah. And the Xbox has one of the worst DVRs ever, so you can always use the Xbox X to record like 420p or whatever the fuck that thing is. Terrible DVR in the Xbox. Mr. Hovis says, is gaming on the peak of going full digital? No. Right? I mean, it's more digital, but we'll always have the people with records.
It's already over the peak.
Yeah.
Like we are, I think we are at the point where I don't remember having seen numbers, but I think we are past the point of most games being digital, like being sold.
And selling more on digital anyway.
Yeah.
You know, some of them. And physical is being taken care of. What's that company that does...
Especially because retail stores, like the physical retail stores, are dying out.
I think.
Yeah, home run, or run. What'd you say? Limited run?
Limited run, I think.
Yeah, home run, limited run. Same thing. And then Migek says, are you left or right-handed? What are you guys?
Right-handed.
We're all right-handed here, so none of us are... what is it? Left hands are supposed to be like more creative, right? Isn't that the thing? That's what I always hear. I don't necessarily believe it.
Yeah, I think I've heard that. Yeah,
I've heard it. I don't believe it. But the Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess on the GameCube had Link as left-handed, and on the Wii version, he was right-handed. I personally played the Wii version, and as I'm right-handed, seeing the GameCube version felt wrong. How do we left-handed feel? Should left and right-handedness be an accessibility option? Oh, Well, you can already switch shoulders in most shooting games. I mean, I think that's something.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely something. I can't say I've ever noticed, but I do think maybe that is because most game characters do tend to be right-handed, and I am right-handed, so there's just the privilege.
There's the bias and privilege of us being on the top, evolutionarily.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. And better in all ways.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And what I love is while he was talking, I was saying it, so it sounds like he's agreeing, which I'm sure he wouldn't agree with. But yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't think that's an accessibility option. Left and right-handedness is not the same as color blindedness.
No, I don't think so.
Not being able to
I mean, you're not,
see it.
I mean, neither is a disability, right?
Right.
True. Yeah.
When we grew up, I think the only thing I ever saw that really sucked, man, was left-handed kids didn't have desks because the desks were one piece.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And you'd have the custodian.
I mean, same with many computer mice, etc. If they're not symmetrical or made for left hand.
Yep. Dude, but I felt so bad for kids in school. It's funny because we were talking, not funny that we were talking about bullying, but we were talking about bullying last week. And the one time I did see somebody feel genuinely uncomfortable at school was the custodian had to come and take the top of the desk off and move it to left because they were left-handed. And I remember the person, you could see that they were embarrassed. Because no one teased them. They were just, that goes to show they were the odd man out.
That makes them feel not part of the group or the odd man out.
And they weren't. Okay. From that point on, I ridiculed them consistently. I was like, you've got the wrong name. I'm just joking. I would never do that. Let's see. What else do we got for questions? That's it for those questions.
Just call them lefty from there on?
No. Jason Boyer says, as a lefty, I've never had that issue. So There you go. Miss Bubbles says, how do you feel about indie games starting to cater to us gamers in ways that AAA games could not? Do you love any indie game in particular? Is Kina indie?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's AA, right? Like Hellblade.
At least, yeah. I mean, at most. Sorry. Yeah. I mean, Kina nailed it. Definitely. That would be the game I like. Just looking here.
I have too many.
Yeah. Some people are saying that left-handedness hasn't
Every week is a new
really
one.
noticed. I haven't seen anybody say here that that things should switch. So there we go. Left-handed people. I don't know, man. I guess you're just screwed. Nobody's supporting you right here. I support you, left-handed people. All games should... Oh, wait, here we go. Scap says, when I was in first grade, my teacher said, if you were left-handed, you were evil. And, of course, I was left-handed. She tried to change me to being right. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a thing, man. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That was... I remember one of our teachers... It stopped. You know, once you get like second or third level. But I distinctly remember, like, the teacher trying to get the kid to write... And there was no evil. That didn't happen. My teachers weren't like, you're evil. I think it was more like it's just easier if you can, because then all these other things,
Yeah,
you know.
From what I remember, at least from my parents telling me, so not me remembering, I apparently was both-handed, and so they went
Right-handed.
Go right hand.
Yeah, I definitely...
that's the majority.
I'm left-handed when I box, right-handed when I kick, left-handed for drawing, right-handed for writing. So I have no clue. I'm just sort of fucked up. Must be brain damage of some kind. What do we got for free games? And these are free, just so everybody knows.
Right.
Free and not so free.
Yes. So free games first. We have on the Epic Games Store PC Building Simulator. Sorry. And on Ubisoft this time, Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon, the old one, as well as Wildlands and one of the DLC, which name I forgot right now. Fallen Ghosts, the DLC is free. Then, to the not-so-free games on PlayStation Now, Amnesia Collection, Desperados 3, Fallout 76, Final Fantasy VIII Remastered, Last of Us Part 2, Victor Vran Overkill Edition, and yet another Zombie Defense HD. On PlayStation Plus, the previously mentioned Hell Let Loose for PS5, PGA Tour 2K21, and Mortal Kombat X. On Prime Gaming, so that's Twitch Prime, Alien Isolation, Blue Fire, Ghost Runner, Red Wings Aces of the Sky, Secret Files 3, Song of Horror Complete Edition, Star Wars Squadrons, Tiny Robots Recharged, Wallace and Gromit's Grand Adventures, Whiskey and Zombies, The Great Southern Zombie Escape. On Stadia Pro, we have Cake Bash, Control Ultimate Edition, DreamWorks Spirit Lucky's Big Adventure, Hello Engineer, and Mafia 3 Definitive Edition. Xbox Games with Gold is Aero and Castlevania Harmony of Despair. And on Xbox Game Pass, we have The Procession of Calvary for PC and Xbox, Visage for PC and Xbox, and Totally Accurate Battle Simulator for PC and Xbox. And
is that Castlevania good?
It says the average rating is 67. So,
Ooh, low.
Yeah, very low.
Gotcha. There really wasn't anything on that list other than Wildlands, and I'm not saying that Wildlands is high. I'm just saying that Wildlands has a lot of gameplay.
There were a couple like big titles in there, like Squadrons, for example, those Star Wars games.
Yeah, I think that's a good deal.
Which platform was Wildlands on again?
Ubisoft directly.
Oh, okay.
So PC, I think, when it does that, when it's set right.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Wasn't it on there already?
I don't know, but I absolutely know that.
Wildlands DLC and Ghost Recon from 2001, the old one.
Yeah, no.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure there's some reason why they added it, but I know for me, I just recently tried to. I don't know if you guys saw me in Discord, but I was trying to get an Xbox game from Ubisoft, and I couldn't. It'd been so long.
Yeah,
I
saw
was
that.
like, how the. What am I supposed to do? Do I have to go to Amazon? Like, I can't seem to get the system to buy. And I did figure out what I needed to do, but it's obvious that they're PC centric in Ubisoft in the store part of their stuff. In fact, I was sort of mad about that in Far Cry. Far Cry has a game, no save progress that I could find. I thought it had save progress in Far Cry 6, but I said
Right.
5, but I meant 6. But it was weird. There's no cross, or there, so there's no, is there crossplay in that one? I can't remember.
There's not.
There's not crossplay in that one, yeah. But I, for some reason, was told that save games would transfer. Originally told that, and I could never get them to transfer. So
I mean,
don't know.
that was the whole one of the whole big to-dos about moving to the whole Ubisoft Connect thing.
Right.
Back when Legion and then Valhalla specifically came out, that you're going to be able to like transfer your saves. As far as I know, I mean, I have the Xbox X, Series X version of Far Cry 6. I also have access to the PC version of it, and I saw no transfer of progression or inventory or anything across the systems.
I think that's just that typical thing. They don't want you using the store to get one shirt for all 3 versions. Like, they want you to microtransaction. I mean, dude, look at Syndicate. I think I own most things in Syndicate, some bought, some not, but I'm absolutely sure they're all separate. You know?
Yeah, I mean, one of my biggest pet peeves with their whole system, or the whole like economy system, is that it's separate from game to game. So you can have like, I don't know, like 600 currency in Odyssey, but it will only be for Odyssey. It won't transfer to Valhalla or so forth, right?
Dude,
like, you don't have a common like Ubisoft currency that you can then use across their games. It's stuck to that one particular game.
Ubisoft loves
that you're
us.
then forced to spend it in.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I did the same thing with DC Universe Online, one of my favorite MMOs, where it's a subscription for each one. It's fucking every single thing purchased is separate, and you're just like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So, Christian, super chat. Y'all have gotten me through many a workday. Cheers, and keep doing what you're doing. Thank you very much, Christian. Welcome. What were you going to say, Reg?
That is one nice thing about Final Fantasy XIV, for example, by comparison.
It
you
transfers?
still have to buy the game on PC and on the console,
right?
On PlayStation. But the sub is one sub. It's one character. It's everything is one.
Parts too, items.
Yeah, it's all. Cross.
That makes sense because you bought the game again, right? Like, why wouldn't you? Would just think that just makes sense to me that they're getting your money
just
already.
Go over to the console, log in with your character. You just play it on the PC and continue playing.
That's sort of a shitter that you can't do that. And all these games also are so restricted to online that
you can do that. I don't know if you.
I was kicked off a couple times on some various games recently, and like the Xbox would just be like, you can't do anything. Like, you just welcome to the internet's required for your single player game. It just sucks. I thought this guy was calling a person name. He was thanking random asshat on the internet. Thanks, I'll check it out. I think he's MLux or whatever it is, the thing that adjusts the lighting for your monitor. Somebody was suggesting it helps with if you have if your computer monitor gives you headaches and stuff. Do you guys use any of the soft blue? My Android changes color at night.
Yeah. I have it on the Android phone.
Like at 9 at night, I think mine turns to that weird, sunset, I guess.
Brownish, reddish,
Yeah, looks a little bit like a Fallout game. Any thoughts on Steam Deck official disassembly? No, but Reg put it in the notes to talk about.
I did.
So, what were they doing? Just showing that you can do?
They were completely taking it apart. They were like, okay, so here's how you unscrew it, here's how you could change the battery, here's how you can change the storage, while at the whole time saying you shouldn't do it.
So, do you have the right of repair for this? Like,
I don't know. But they were going over everything, including like the how you would be able to change the joysticks. Well, a full disassembly of the thing.
You know what pissed me off? Sort of connected to this was, so the person made the adapter for the Xbox to take the short NVMe and you can use a normal NVMe. However, Microsoft has specific types of NVMe that are certified, and if it's not on this whitelist, it won't even work. And I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So somebody else, a Chinese company on Alibaba, sells a new adapter that actually fits inside the Xbox. And there's a couple short NVMe, whatever that number is. I use 2880, I think. I use the long sticks of NVMe. But unfortunately, like, Microsoft restricts it to these very specific ones that in the end you're really not saving any money. And it sucks because you feel like you have customization in something and you can't. I think with the Steam, at least, you'll be able to change that NVMe in there, right? Didn't they state?
Yes. Yeah. That's, I mean, they did state that all of them, no matter which edition, even if you get the one that has only the fixed storage and not an NVMe, that all of them have a PCI Express slot for the storage.
No shit. Okay. Well, that's cool. Ethan says that he found out only Wildlands DLC is free, not the base game.
On my Ubisoft storefront on PC, it's also the base game.
Also base game on the main store. Buddy.
On console, though, definitely true. It's only the DLC. Yes.
Jesus. So messed up. So confusing. Yeah. So confusing to gamers. That's why, and by the way, in the next couple weeks, as we put more stuff together and I'm not doing 85 videos, we'll be doing more and more here. I've tried to keep up on the topics, but I think we're still on October for the topics and not in news. I got to change the filter. We're going to continue doing some of this stuff, including like maybe posting the links and stuff where some of these games are. But there's just so many titles, so many things to track that it's difficult for us. It's difficult for you guys, like, to even know sometimes what's free, what's not. I had to buy Syndicate yesterday.
Too many purchases that were already included.
Say that again?
I've bought too many games already in the past that were on one of the subscriptions.
No, actually, that's exactly what
you already own. Yeah,
that is literally what I was going to bring up. Was I bought Syndicate for the Xbox because my disc died, and I had to buy it from Amazon, and then realized, for reasons I cannot explain to you, my Xbox has two entries: the disc-less version of the code that I got and a disked version. And the only one showing was the goddamn disked version. And I only found that out yesterday when I went in to start deleting stuff and realized I was getting ready to delete a working version. And I was just like, it's just, there's so much overlap. And they really need to make it clear. I know Sony did a good job with their patch on the PS5, right? The PS5 now, it's much easier to tell which version a game is. And PS4
for example, it by default launches the PS5 version and installs the PS5 version instead of PS4. So
Justin Zubia, thank you for the super chat. Rogerio is here, $5 super chat. Rogerio says, I'm surprised to find out that Sands of Time will have a remake. I found it by chance on the Ubi store. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yeah, that was announced, I think, like 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, it's been a while, but then it died out. It
especially because it got delayed. Like it was supposed to already be out this year, like early this year, but yeah, it got delayed.
Cosmic Legend says, ACG, your reviews are the best. Thanks for what you do. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad you like them. This last review, I had an editing mistake that played the audio of a tiger attacking somebody. 56 seconds in.
I was like, what?
Sorry. So just so you guys know, that wasn't in my version. I did have somebody look at this one because it was a long review and it was coming. It wasn't in any way like up against the time limit for that. It was my time limit. And I was like, okay, here we go. Check. But they know I fuck around. And they legit, just like a bunch of people in the comments, thought it was on purpose. And I was like, I wouldn't put it at 10. What was it? -3 decibels. It might have been at 0. It was loud. I would never have done that. I would have filtered it in. In fact, I will check those. And dude, I posted that. And most people were nice, but there were some people who are legitimately, by the way, this has also happened to me with the Walking the Walk for Red Dead 1. Where the dynamite goes off while I'm playing, and I was not expecting it, and it got into the Walking the Walk. And it made people shit themselves. They were like, oh my God. But this guy said he was driving his car. He's like, I was driving my car, no video, just audio. And you're talking about the beauty of Far Cry. He's like, what's so funny is, I guess at this point I was in my like radio mode, and I was like, the beauty is you go over a scenic, and he's all, dude, I went over to the divider. He's like, it was the craziest. I apologize, everybody.
All right.
Sincerely, that was not on purpose, man. I felt legitimately bad. And then I went to YouTube, and you can do the edit. So I cut it, and then YouTube did the thing where it gets stuck in their queue. It's still in their queue. So not only is the edit in their queue, but I get no money for the video. And I like, no. Because it's like, now it wants to make sure I haven't like tried to make 2 words be a cuss word or something. So it sticks there forever. So sorry, everybody. Somebody said I jumped, to be honest. Can you review High Fleet, please? What's High Fleet?
I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
I haven't heard about that.
I heard about that. I honestly thought that the audio thing in Far Cry 6 review was on purpose. I thought you were showing the chaos. No, I wasn't, man. God damn. I need to quit screwing with people. That poor guy, he got some shit too, man. I was like, dude, that can't be in there. He's like, but I thought you were doing your thing. I'm like, nah, man, sorry. Let's see. Reading here, it looks like somebody also, there's another Cyberpunk patch. But I don't think Cyberpunk is changed, right? The Cyberpunk patches, there's no DLC for Cyberpunk, is there? The Cyberpunk patches we're seeing are just getting the game to where it should be, right? Okay, yeah. I just want to make sure. Somebody's saying they want me to recheck it, and I'm not going to recheck Cyberpunk unless it's a different game. No, unless there's, something like amazing. Let's see, what else do we got? Looking at our list of stuff here. Destiny 2 removed its expansion. Okay. What does that mean, by the way, when they say they're vaulting it?
That it's no longer in active play. So it's no longer available to play. And that it might, at some point in the future, be re-enabled and available again.
So, seems really bizarre to do that for an expansion.
And that one in particular, because isn't that one of their main
that is like
things?
The best one they had released so far. Yeah.
So I haven't done Destiny in a while. When you jump into Destiny, then I watched Reg play it, and I was so confused because there were so many icons. I remember you went into your inventory; it was just fucking dials and dashes, and I was like, "What?" When you go into the game, is there even a story now? Or is it just
no idea? Okay. I would imagine it's just the current DLC story, like sub-story. But if you enter as a new player, probably the story's gone.
Dude, that's so weird to me. To basically go in and just be like, all right, there's nothing here but just missions. Like, just Jason says, can't play that story part anymore. I was watching. Okay, yeah.
So what they usually do for like an expansion, although it's hard to call it that when they remove something else instead, is that you launch the game for the first time, you get some kind of cutscene to introduce you to the new enemy, the new whatever, new planet, whatever it might be that's in there, and then you can set off to start that story arc. But it's just that arc. That's it.
So weird, man. So weird. I mean, I guess, Destiny fans have shown that they'll suck up anything. Like, they're still there.
You can still play the original story. So I guess the base story is still there, but the other expansion sub-stories are gone.
Damn. Well, there you go. I mean, admittedly, I'm dissing on them. I don't know what Division's done.
Imagine if back in the day, like with World of Warcraft, like Burning Crusade came out, and then like a year later or something, they went, nah, Burning Crusade, we're canceling that now. You're just getting World of Warcraft.
I mean, I'm sure people who played those games, weird. There's probably, there's probably something that's happened that's sort of like it, but it's so weird to me. It is so weird to jump into these and have somebody be like, oh no, that's just gone, and I've always been against it, but this one was even more shocking because I did see some people say, dude, that's the main thing. Like, that's literally what caused people to like Destiny.
They also level everyone up to the level that they can immediately start the next DLC.
Different.
Like, they always raise the minimum level. So even if you hadn't played, for example, and you still were lower level, the next time you log in, you are at that point where you can just jump in.
Hey, let's talk about raising levels. Did you guys see Avengers put the microtransactions in? after Square Enix stated they will never do pay-to-play, they put pay-to-play in yesterday. And that's one of the reasons why I always tell people, I'm like, if I was PR, I would just say never.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Never say never, because you'll always, it's possible it could change. Instead, just be like, are there going to be? There are none at this time. Like,
Yeah, we don't have any plans.
We don't have any plans. There are none at this time, and just let it ride. But they added, and some people sent me some pictures of pretty egregious. Now, Ubisoft, by the way, this is the first Far Cry game I've played, and Odyssey didn't do this either. Valhalla. The Far Cry Ubisoft point thing was right in Far Cry when I was reviewing it, and they were expensive. Like, I think for the motorbike that I like, the sidecar, there's a term for that, the sidecar motorbike, where you got the motorbike, you have a sidecar, I think it was $8. That's expensive for a car, for one vehicle in a game that's got, a good number of vehicles. But with Avengers, man, I was looking at the price, that shit's expensive.
Yeah, I mean that was even in Avengers, like with the regular microtransactions, like the animation for like skin, for like $20, $10 or $20. Yeah,
it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like I just don't get it. And gamers, that you can do what you want. So this game is over for a lot of people. It came and went. So if somebody wants to jump in and play it, I'm not gonna.
Well, especially with the XP, it's been pretty much a shit show of communication by them.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, we're lowering the XP level because you unlock stuff too fast and players would get confused. Then 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago, they were having a quadruple XP weekends. So play now. And now they're selling XP boosts. Which is it now? Is it too slow, too fast?
Do you guys think it's
slow
possible
it down to sell it? What's going on?
What's up, Gaming Therapy? And new folks, I'll get back to read. I think I saw a super chat. I'll get back to read in a second. I was going to say, do you guys think maybe it's because they're, with Game Pass and all this stuff, they're making these changes pretty quick because they're just seeing they're seeing the ability for a monetization or a change to the XP. Maybe too many people jumped in and we're leveling up too quick, and they're just making too many changes.
I think it's purely a monetization question.
Yeah, it's true. I was trying to give him a bone, but there's no bone. Really.
Yeah, you were.
I mean, I was, because I was just like, some of these guys got to be gamers, right? I mean, there's got to be at least one gamer at the company. Like I said, I'd be that Steve. I'd be fired, but I'd be the guy who'd be like, dude, what are we fucking doing, man? Like, what are we doing? How do we present ourselves? The PR was really bad for that game. It was all over the place, man.
I think it's monetization and the fact that we are a year into the lifetime of the game and it's not getting the publicity that it used to. So they kind of feel like they can get away with it to a larger extent now than they could back in the day.
What do you think about Outriders? Because Outriders had some issues. Where's Outriders now? Is Outriders still on Game Pass? Exactly. We can't even answer that. None of us know what's going on with Outriders. No. Exactly. No, that's a perfect point
I played
right there.
through the game and that was it. So I was gone.
But that's it. Outriders is gone. I remember people being like, I was like, dude, your longevity in this game is terrible. So get it if you like your short amount of time, but longevity, it's nobody even knows about that game anymore. Like, that's sad. Is there even DLC for that? So Colin Bright says, yes, it's there. So Colin and Optimus Prime, is there plans for Outriders? Because I don't know if there is. I haven't heard a single, these games are popping out and then they're just disappearing. And we're not really, has Spider-Man come out for Avengers?
Not yet. I don't think. No.
Wasn't Spider-Man supposed to come out a while ago? Or am I wrong? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, originally, but they did put him on indefinite postponement after launch with the disaster of the technical issues the game had.
Wow. Do you guys
But he's still coming.
Yeah, you know why they're saying that?
They say.
Silver, because they don't want to get refunds, right? Because so if you say Spider-Man's coming for PS5 only, PS4, PS5, and then you put it on indefinite hiatus or whatever, at some point you do have an issue where people can be like, I bought it because Spider-Man was coming. And now Spider-Man's you know.
I think
Yeah, that's true.
I think the Black Panther content is either out or
It's out. Yeah, Wakanda's out. I have
it's
checked.
out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and Wakanda, by the way, isn't terrible. It's I don't. Avengers overall wasn't terrible. It just was all over the place.
Yeah, I mean the technical aspects were terrible, but
Yeah.
like the gameplay itself was
Yeah, if you
I
just,
find
it's Gauntlet,
fun enough.
you know,
Yeah.
X-Men Gauntlet.
Yeah.
Like, certainly nothing, you know. I mean, I didn't
So-
enjoy it, but go ahead.
I was looking at like if there's any Outriders DLC, and the last I could find is back from May, where the news was that potentially there's DLC coming, but nothing since.
6 months. 5-6 months. I might have counted wrong. Wow, that's a long time. I mean, Outriders was also not a terrible one. Outriders had some stuff I actually liked. These games that are like, they're just monetization front ends. You can smell it, man. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah.
can, they, you know how Sony has the third person genre lockdown? Ripoffs have the group party third person thing locked down. Like the moment they show one, you're like, rip off. Or not rip off, but money. Like that's going to be it's just going to be a leveling grind. You can see it the moment you look
The
at
vehicle
it.
for monetization.
Yeah, and just that never-ending grind of you know +1 to your purple pants, and you're just. I mean, I don't know, man. Some people love it. I guess I just don't know who those people are, and I want them wiped from the earth, but I just don't have the power. Electromo says, I always thought the Avengers was catered for kids who don't really care about game quality. No. Dude, that game was not geared for kids. Avengers had like, I mean, I guess I didn't feel it was geared for kids. It was fairly complex, had a bunch of stuff going on, a ton of things you could track. I mean, I'm not saying kids can't do that, but I don't think it was geared. Did you guys think Avengers was geared to kids?
No,
Okay.
specifically.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I guess kids is also what's the age of a kid? What is the age? If they're not in, so 12 and under, I guess.
And I would say definitely from 12 and up was what it was geared for.
That's
like comic,
yeah. That's what I
reading
thought as
comic
well.
books and
Mhm.
whatnot, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not, certainly there's not a whole lot of gore and stuff in Avengers. It's very
True.
kid friendly in that way. Like it's PJ-13 or whatever you want to say,
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think that's also in the nature of the comic books that it's inspired by. I mean, Avengers, the comic book that I read, wasn't particularly gory or dark.
Yeah,
in
it
that
took a
sense.
while before it got into the dark stuff. The edgy 90s when comics
Yeah.
all had to be emo
Yeah,
and with their
even-
eyeliner
even-
and shit.
Sadly, even Spider-Man, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Spider-Man delivered one of the greatest when it comes to movies with the third. I just watched Spider-Man 3 and he shows up with his eyeliner and stuff and I'm like, "Damn, son, this is so edgy. You can cut yourself." It's like
Oh, man.
it's that kind of
I mean, even
Ah.
Spider-Man 3 pales in comparison to like the comics in the 90s when
Yeah.
like when Peter Parker like delved into depression, like accidentally slapped Mary Jane when she was pregnant and stuff.
And he
Yeah.
slaps her in 3 too, which I forgot. He's in the fight with the not barkeep. Jesus, that's D&D. With the bouncer, and he swings. The guy
Right.
grabs him, and he turns around to hit. Now, okay, let's remember this is Spider-Man, who's got spider reflexes and is dodging bullets. He can't stop his hand from slapping Mary Jane, and that's when I hate shit. When I'm like, dude, I hate that because you see something break the entire, you know, the entire power level of a character or something like that. Ghost Rider needs a good game. That's true, but Punisher was good. If you guys like, you know, super sort of superhero games, I thought Punisher was pretty enjoyable. Lego Marvels are good. Yeah, the Lego games are all good. Do you guys do Lego? Or I can't remember. I think yeah. Okay.
For sure.
Yeah. Lego, dude, there's so many good Lego. Wouldn't you guys say Lego is, when it comes to the number of offerings, Lego's probably one of the best when it comes to a series, right? Like or a thing.
I mean, the games are pretty much always the same.
Yeah, I mean, they maintain a pretty consistent level, right?
Yeah.
The telling of the story is the enjoyable part.
Is the enjoyable part.
But the retelling, because it is the movies, the same plots, the same arc as the movies of whatever game you're playing, but in a pretty humorous way. So I enjoy those.
Guys, it's going to happen, man. It is going to happen. There will be a Goonies for Lego. It has to happen. Like everything about Goonies.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Yes, if I want a Goonies Lego so bad, and I know people would be like, "Well, you can't have 1,000 characters." That is true. Like Goonies doesn't have like 1,000 Avengers, but they got to figure something out. Johnny just gave a super chat. $5 says, "Wish you could slap Mary Jane from the Spider-Man game, dude." I'm assuming he means that Spider-Man 1, that piece of shit game. Man, I hate a lot of characters in that game. Lego Goonies, Gremlins. Ooh, that'd be cool. Like a B Lego or something where it's like all those. What did Dimensions have? Dimension had Simpsons, right? And it had Back to the Future. Lego Dimensions. Mm-hmm. Lego Dimensions has actually covered a couple of these, now that I think about it. Oh, yeah. And here we go. JK. What is that? Is that Big Mac? Yeah, that's Big Mac. He says Goonies had the Lego expansion for Dimensions. So Goonies was already in Dimensions. Wow. I thought I had all of the... Was it a world, guys? Or was it just like a character? Baby Ruth? Was it just like the character talking? What else do we got? Any other amazing news? Any other awesome things to talk about?
Yeah, I have like Phasmophobia it's 1 year's anniversary about two weeks ago. Mm-hmm. And for that it's gotten a fairly major update. Like since it launched, we're now up to about 16 ghosts in the game. Like the lighting engine got a huge overhaul to the point where I think honestly now the lighting in the game is some of the most impressive I've ever seen.
Oh wow.
It looks like AAA. Like you're inside the darkness of this dark house, and then your teammates are coming in with their lanterns, and it just like is almost blinding. The bloom looks absolutely stunning. Ghosts now have different behaviors where now, like when they started hunting in the old system, your lights would immediately start to flicker, and you would immediately know that they were hunting you. Now your lights only start to flicker if the ghost is nearby. Ghosts also now emit sounds as they manifest. So like you can have a ghost that's singing or laughing or whatever as it's hunting you. I had one that was breathing really, really hard, and I was hiding in the closet. And I could just hear it like on the other side of the closet door, like like that. Like a really uncomfortable phone call in the middle of the night.
Or a real comfortable one, whatever you're into.
True enough, yeah. That was really unnerving, and like it's in a lot of ways it's more unnerving and scary than it ever has been. I don't know that there's a better game to play for Halloween at the moment.
Oh wow.
It's just it's smoother than it ever has been. It works better than it ever has. Like a lot of the issues have been fixed. A lot of the like the tools you get work better, look better than they ever have. Yeah, I definitely recommend if people haven't tried it out that they go and try it out for Halloween, because it has turned. It was already like on the top end of the horror games I've played, but it's moved even further up that list.
And this is VR and Pancake, right? You can do both.
Yes, VR and mouse and keyboard or gamepad. Yeah.
And you can. It's the same game, right? It's not like Fallout where you have to buy two versions of the game.
No. Same game, and you can play. VR players can play with mouse and keyboard or gamepad players. So you aren't segmented in that way.
Bethesda can't figure out how to release the same version of Fallout, so they have to make you buy it twice. And these little podunk, I don't mean podunk in a bad way. I just mean small developers.
I do also really appreciate the developer. I mean, it started out as a one-man game, and then it hit it off so big that he was actually able to hire a team. And they've just been putting out update after update after update after update after update, like sometimes multiple times a week since it launched, to the point where it is now. And I think it's really a testament to what they've been able to do with it. It's really good.
Single player content as well, or just is this just an MMO?
You can play it single player. Yeah. I mean, it's actually, I find it a lot scarier single player.
Right. There's always something about having somebody else there, even if it's verbally, right?
I mean, especially, I wouldn't recommend playing some of the larger levels on single player because it gets really tedious running back the amount of times you have to run back and forth to your truck to get equipment. but and you can't really coordinate with people, but it is, I think, a lot scarier to play single player than multiplayer.
You just remind me of something. Back 4 Blood's bots also don't help you in doing stuff that require like building in the game. So it's just you if you're by yourself. Yeah, those kind of games, the horror games, I definitely could jump into. I think I enjoy them more with other people. Like it's just more fun. Even if it's I don't know if I'd want to play it by myself. It just depends. I know Reg was talking about like he's not a huge horror fan by himself, but like you wouldn't have an issue when you're with others, right? Because there's others there.
I mean, that game we
I think you played
it. Play. Yeah.
Speaking of like with others, dude.
Oh, sorry. Just because I know you're a big audio guy, but the audio in the game is absolutely
that's what I've heard.
Stellar as well. Yeah. Like 3D positioning for sounds and what is absolutely solid.
Dude, man, audio fucking I was playing Far Cry, and my other issues with Far Cry aside, there were times in that game where I was just like, holy shit, audio matters so, like,
yeah,
it's fucking crazy how much audio can make you, hunker down and be like, what's happening right now? And Back 4 Blood had some cool audio stingers where I was like legitimately going like, oh fuck, like what is that sound? It's such a big deal.
In Phasmophobia, it's sort of emphasized immediately because the moment you open the door and you go into the house, there's this like kind of humming sound in the background that's faint enough to where you almost don't notice it, but you clearly do. And it's so discordant that it immediately sort of puts you on edge the moment you step inside.
Yeah. Yeah, those work really well if there's like that, there's something going on, like light in the background. You're like, what the hell? Lance says the audio distance effects in New World are amazing. Yeah, anytime you get that, it's awesome. What I was going to say was, speaking of with friends, I wasn't joking yesterday when I said I was lonely. That was the first time in like probably 15 years where I felt that. But I've been playing Far Cry, and I was joking in our Discord saying, I can't remember what we were talking about. We were talking about Back 4 Blood or blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's probably just because I'm lonely. And I realized I've been playing so many of these, like, these multiplayer games without multiplayer or with, like, people, reviewers, and not friends.
Right.
Not to be, reviewers of people, too. Maybe. The jury's out. But, like, I was playing with them, and I was all, dude, this is not the same, man. It's, like, it's not, I mean, I have no issues reviewing the game, and my friends I find fun if we're having a good time in the game, not the game. Like, I can separate those. I don't have any issue. But, like, yeah. I think it was the day before yesterday when I really noticed I was playing something. I was like, fuck, man. Like, I didn't know who the jack-offs were who were in the game with me. I was doing randoms.
Right.
And I was like, this isn't, it's not as enjoyable.
I can't help but think that Deathloop is, like, probably a good example of that, because that must have been in the review process. Like, how do you review the multiplayer for that? When you only have like like the reviewers are
so you
are
can
the
get
players
2
like
codes.
joining in.
No,
right?
So many times they'll give you 2 codes and you can give it to a friend, which I had. Deathloop, and that person doesn't review, so they had the game, they were able to play it. World War Z, a friend had to they give you 4 codes. They say NDA, those people are under your responsibility. If they break NDA in some way, we're coming after your ass, right? So you have to control.
Right.
But you're absolutely right. There are games where you don't get 2 codes, and you do have to figure out, like, what's great about a lot of companies is they'll say, okay, at 2 p.m. on Friday, we're going to have 20 developers ready to play multiplayer. Here's the problem with that, though. They know the game, right? So there's no learning curve for them. So the idea of going into a game with a dev is like, dude, seriously? I'm going to get... And if you do win, you're always like, did that person let me? Because, like, how would they not have let you win if they know everything about the way the game works? It's definitely a situation that can pop up. Luckily, most companies work around it these days. But sometimes you'll just be playing a game and you'll be like, yeah, it's just... I mean, they're fun, but there's something about having a group of friends, at the same time playing, where you're just enjoying the experience more, or the situation more. Life under NDA seems edgy. No, it's not, man. It's fine. Unless it snorts coke. No, it's not. Life under NDA isn't so bad. It's just when you want to bitch about something you can't. That sucks. Like when you really want to be like,
Yeah, like people talking about how good the game might be, and you're already like, ugh.
Have you ever seen me? And in the Discord, dude, if you want to see me lose my shit, it's when I'm in Discord and you get, I don't know how to term this. Maybe somebody in chat will know. But when you see the post building on post of excitement and you're playing the game and you're like, I mean, I'll be looking at the chat going, no, please!
Yeah, like disappointment is coming.
Yeah, I'll just be like, please, guys, don't do this. And it happened with Cyberpunk, man. Oh, Cyberpunk was raw. Because I was just like, guys, hey, what's going on? You know, you just might want to think a little bit before you jump into some of these titles. No, it's going to be the greatest thing ever. I talked to somebody who said it's the greatest thing ever. And the game, it knows where you live. It sends you emails. You're just like, dude, none of this happens. Working my way through Alan Wake Remastered. Not a big step up from the PC version, but great. Yeah, I don't know. I thought the characters were a pretty big step up. And did you guys do Alan Wake? You guys won't do Alan Wake Remastered. I mean, you've played it, right?
Yes.
So, like, yeah.
Multiple times, yeah.
Multiple times. Yeah, so there's no reason. I mean, not in the same. Yeah, I get it.
No.
Let's see.
And I already thought it looked pretty decent on PC, so, like, in the first place.
What, dude, I got to tell you, though. I didn't say this in the review because I made that mistake when I was reviewing A Way Out, and I dissed on that dude's nose and didn't realize it was his real nose. So I watch what I say.
Yeah.
But in Alan Wake, his wife shows up.
Dude, what did they do with that model?
Dude, I was all over that model too. I was like, dude, what's going on? And then somebody was like, dude, that's his brother's real nose.
Accurate.
And I was all
right then. Yeah.
All right. But his wife, Alan Wake's wife, Alan Wake looks much closer to the actor than he ever did, right? In the originals. It's a higher resolution. His wife, I don't know if you guys remember this, but in the show, his wife doesn't show up, but when she does, the camera is looking through a passenger into the car, and she goes like, Alan, and she shows up, and she's pretty raw looking in the game, like a marionette, right. You know, like really bad Uncanny Valley. And I had it, and I was like ready to be like, dude, what? But I was like, yeah, it might be closer to the actress than I know. So yeah, you always got to watch out. That shit with, I felt bad. I mean, obviously I'm a Podunk reviewer. I'm sure he wasn't watching my review. But I was like, I hope nobody who knows him as a joke.
Just call it a Roman nose in the future. Yeah.
Dude, that's bigger than a Roman nose. That was dude, it was great. It's crazy. Yes. It's crazy. And he teases it, so I feel better now. But originally, I felt really bad. Somebody was like, dude, that's him. And I was like, oh, okay. Because, you don't want to directly go after somebody. Let's see. Neoxys says, Anthem had an amazing promise. That's one way to say it. It had some amazing. It's done, right? Anthem's shelved. Right?
Yeah.
Is Anthem staying running? And then just
they left it online.
I think they ended. Like they certainly ended patch support for it.
They did.
So it's not getting any.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not 100% unsure on whether they shut down the service themselves, but I wouldn't be surprised.
What do we got as we wrap this up? What do we got coming up for October, man? We got what games? What do we got? I did a top 10. I can't remember.
Yeah, you did a top 10.
Oh yeah, Age of Empires. Thank you. Yeah. That'll be fun. That's 28th, right? Or is that one of the late ones or one of the mid ones?
It is end of the month.
Yeah. No, let's see. What else do we got for August? We have October. Forza's November. Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Right. What else do we got? October.
Well, of course, the Dark Pictures anthology.
We do have
Texas, I think, is coming for American Truck Simulator.
No shit. The full play, that'd be cool. I didn't even know that they were doing that. So they're doing a full update. Texas, like the state and everything, gun runners. Yeah. That'd be fun. Getting shot at. Let's see. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Exactly.
True. That's mid or late. I got to check on a review code.
26th. Yeah. That's also towards the end.
Yeah, dude. We got a lot of stuff at the end. Last news I had was that they were completely redesigning Anthem. No, Rogerio. Sorry about that, bro. That got dumped.
EA canceled that.
Yeah, EA canceled that. They tried, though. They did, from what I understand, they did give them some time, looked into it. And
They axed it like in, I think, February or March this year.
I'm okay with that. Give them a try. Let them look at systems and designs, and if it won't work, that's fine. And if it will work, that's great. I saw somebody saying, just make Anthem 2, and I'm like, why? But that makes no sense. If Anthem 1 didn't work, you're just going to have Anthem 1.5. Instead, let them try with what they've got, and yeah, it didn't work out. So, such is unfortunately the way it is. Well, you guys are no help. Which one, Hot Wheels or Deathloop? Wow.
Right.
That's a compare. I don't know. I think he wants to know which one of those two games. That's a weird comparison. So Monopoly or sex? It's like, dude, I'm sorry, man. Like, if you're asking me, oh, Riders Republic. Riders Republic. That's another one. Very, very hot title too. Got really good previews. So did Far Cry. By the way, the Far Cry previews show why previews are still bullshit, man. I don't know if you guys, dude, some of those previews are so close to false advertising. You're just like, whatever. Hot Wheels. Did you guys buy that?
Nope.
Hot Wheels?
Did not.
No, not yet.
Very good reviews on Hot Wheels.
Considered that, I know, but
did he? Did Johnny play it?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Johnny, are you still in here? You better fucking be. You better be here till we shut this podcast down, Johnny, or you ain't ever coming back. What did you think of Hot Wheels, Johnny? He's got 30 seconds to answer, or he's never coming back.
Well,
I don't see.
Good.
Yeah, it's not looking good, Johnny. Wow, Johnny letting us down.
Yeah.
Just absolutely.
Where's Johnny?
Where? Yeah, dude, that needs to be. Oh no, he's there. Johnny's there. He's there. I bet you somebody pinged him. Somebody's like, dude. That's awesome. It's dope. Okay. I like it. So what do we got before we roll out? Is that pretty much it? We got anything cool going on this week? Any cool news?
I mean, we have some patron questions, possibly.
Oh, shit. We don't. Because I forgot to put out Discord the patron question. Oh, I read those. I think we're out. I get to all of them? I think I did.
Oh yeah, you did.
I did.
Yep.
Yep. I got to every dude. This is the thing, right? This is how we do it without Johnny. We get through it quick. I'm just joking. Miss Johnny. He's always very helpful.
One piece of positive news still that I had put on the list. Like we often hear about overworking in the video game industry, etc. Like people having to put in way more hours than they should.
Yeah.
Eidos Montreal is shifting towards a 4-day per week work week. So 32 regular hours for all of their employees.
And they updated it. Yeah, somebody asked about that. They said 410s, and they said no. All things will stay the same. It'll just be 32 hours.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a question. 32 hours is, because I'm good with math, 8 less than 40. Do people think that this will bonus and improve so much that those 8 hours will be made up for?
Yes.
Or, okay, gotcha.
Yep, that's generally what the research shows.
Yep.
I saw the research showed that at first, but like COVID, that fell off after a particular amount of time. So I was wondering if we have any, which we may not have further data on that yet, but okay,
Yep.
Gotcha. It'd be very cool for them.
That's the assumption that that it will be basically the same result per week, but
just because people be smarter, right? Instead of doing another meeting, which I think
got so much lost time.
Yeah,
time.
Seriously, that's what I actually was thinking was the meetings, because I would have 6-8 hour of meetings in a week easy. Yeah. So the idea of having somebody say, we only have 32 hours, we need to fix our communication, which is we do. Dude, if you want, the worst company workers in the fucking world are those people that schedule meetings as their job. Like their job, you can tell they're not doing shit. They're like, let's confab. Let's have a discussion about, and you're just like
everyone has to be there for every meeting, no matter how irrelevant for them. Yeah, that's
yeah. This is cool. So is that going to be company wide?
It is for Eidos Montreal at least, so that's all of their 500 about employees.
Suddenly, everybody's transferring to that one, right? Suddenly, everybody's like, oh, "I'll go work for them." Yeah, it's cool, man. I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad it happens. I personally don't have an issue with 40 hours or more or less. So I think whatever works for whatever works. I will say that. One thing that happened with us was we had the ability for people to work 32, and they were having an issue finding childcare. And going to work was actually better because there were ways around things by going to work and switching out, who had the kid. And so where the parent is home more, I would have thought it would have been easier. But then I realized sometimes you don't want your kid around if you want your day off. So it's like, it's going to be interesting to see how people treat those extra 8 hours.
Yeah, so
With
someone
family,
in chat just asking. Yeah, it is with the current salaries, so no pay cut.
Yeah, that's what I. Yeah, that's what I saw.
Just fewer hours for everything the same.
It's very cool. We got a super chat. That I saw pop up. We were talking about this. Abbreviated review says, "Random thought. You think BioWare is going to stick around if they can't nail it with Dragon Age, after falling short with Emmy and Anthem? Well, Mass Effect Legendary did really well, right? The trilogy, that remake.
Yeah, I did.
That thing sold like hotcakes, so that might have helped them.
That's my impression as well.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Let's say their next one does fail. Do you guys think EA guts them in some way?
No.
Okay. Really?
I think. Yeah. No. I think like the Mass Effect trilogy is an example of the value they can still extract from the name of BioWare.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they did a good job, man. They did like.
That was so perfectly phrased for EA. Wonderful. The value they can extract.
They can extract. It is true though.
The body. That's remaining.
There's nothing. Yeah. Have you guys ever had that friend that you can almost tell the only time they come over is like when, they're getting something out of it. Mm-hmm. Like it's right. Yeah. EA is that. There's just nothing offered from them. It's just, and EA's done better, by the way. I think a lot of people would agree. There's some things, indie games, EA's done great. People diss on EA, go to Origin and check out their indie. They've got a ton of indie titles.
Takes two.
It takes two, exactly. But at the same time, Extraction is perfect. Like it is perfect. So BioWare just remakes everything they used to. Indio is the person who asked this. I actually do believe that there is a huge market for Dragon Age as a remake. Remake, not remaster. I believe there is a massive market for Origins 2 and 3 to be like packaged in some way. I think personally, that would sell like hotcakes, especially if they made some huge improvements. To 2.
Inquisition is still too new at this point.
Mass Effect Legendary Edition sold better than EA expected, apparently. So.
And isn't EA like Capcom, where they think they're going to sell 800 billion chillion?
Yeah.
It's always below expectation.
Capcom that one time. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Their measuring stick is basically FIFA for everything.
Dude,
if it doesn't,
it's so true. It's so true. I still remember when Capcom that one time they were like, "This undersold," and somebody was posting that it sold like 9 million copies of them. People like, undersold to
the
who?
news could say 2 copies sold to every person on the planet, and the company would come out and say it performed below expectations.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not as we're hoping to make some money on the tail end, maybe. And you're just like, yeah, whatever. It's almost like those people who do like you'll see somebody do like a video where it's like, oh, woe is me, blah, blah, blah. And sometimes you're like, I think that's just EA. Just woe is us. We're just not doing well. Remake Dragon Age 2. I mean, nobody liked that game, Mike says. Nobody, I mean, I think somebody had to have liked.
Yeah, there are.
PC Gamer did. I think I remember them giving it like a 9 or a 10, which a lot of people weren't happy with.
That's a pretty high score, dude. That's 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 a pretty that'd be. I would like to read that review, but I mean, yeah, I'd love to see him. Robbie says GTA 5 undersold. Yeah, exactly. Oh man, dude, it's so it's so true. It's so true. I think that's it for us, man. I think that's what we got. You guys should see. Man, there's a number of previews coming out. You guys will see those from me. Silver, have you been uploading any videos lately?
No, but Steve and I are going to record our next episode with about from Last Edit, talking about No Country for Old Men. Is the one we've gotten to in the Coen Brothers library, and we might be joined by Mike Fury.
Oh yeah, I saw him.
Fellow Discord member.
Yeah, and he's a big movie fan. What about you, Reg? Are you? I mean, I know you're not uploading anything, but are you playing anything?
No.
Any board games this weekend?
Not that I've heard so far. So probably not. No, it's probably will just be more Metroid. Mainly.
I'm trying to figure out. Like, I have a bunch of previews. Reviews are sort of the end of this month is just nuts. But uploading. Oh, by the way, thank you everybody for watching and being nice on the. There was a couple news videos and stuff. I did one on Saturday, which, by the way, warning to anybody who's starting a channel: never upload on Saturdays. It's stated not to because there's nobody viewing videos on Saturdays, and I was like, I'm gonna try it anyway because my fans are that cool. No, they're not. No, they're not. No one showed up for that thing compared to normal. But I was gonna say thank you to everybody who showed up to the Far Cry improvement video and listen to me at the starting saying, I'm not saying it's terrible. These are just things I would like to see modernized. And it was an awesome conversation. There was some really good discussion around that. Same discussion that probably would exist around Metal Gear, I think, and some of these other shooters that we're going to see. So that was really, really cool. I definitely appreciate it. I saw people talking to each other, which was cool. Instead of that thing where like somebody's like, I'd like better recoil. And somebody's like, recoil is perfect. You're fucking stupid. And you're just like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. One of these days we should do a podcast like that on, maybe when we've all played a game all the way through. Like if I had done Death Stranding, we could have done
it. That's asking a little much of you, I think.
Yeah. But what's a game we've all played? Oh, Horizon, Ghost of Tsushima. A lot of people have been asking us
for sure.
Yeah, been asking us to do like somehow try to figure out not a spoiler cast, but like, jump in.
Right. I think we also all played Last of Us 2 as well.
We did.
True.
Last of Us 2. We probably all do Naughty Dog, don't we? Uncharted
and
4.
Spider-Man as well.
Yep.
Spider-Man, yeah.
I haven't actually played Uncharted 4 yet still. I still need to get back into it.
Oh, gotcha. I know. I just found out one of my friends who's a huge superhero fan hasn't played either Spider-Man game and doesn't even have a PlayStation. And I was like,
well,
but he likes games.
Yeah.
And I was just like,
Right.
dude, you seriously, ignoring Sony or whatever, if you like Spider-Man, those are the best renditions of comic. Just like Batman. If you ever hear anybody say they haven't played the Batman games, I always have to be like, I have to do you have to, get the connotation of it and be like, are you not a comic book fan? And if they are and they haven't played them, I'm always like, I remember one guy told me he had played the Genesis Batman and didn't like it, so therefore he didn't play the new Batman games. And I was like, that's not really a legit decision making. That's probably not the best way to make a decision. Let's see, what else do we got? I got God Hand. Somebody wants us to do God Hand. Will never happen. God, that game was bad. Everybody likes that game. Did you guys ever do God Hand?
No.
You missed nothing, no matter what people say. All right, that'll be it for us. Thank you very much. You guys all rock. Thanks for showing back up. We were almost back to where we were before the internet decided you can't tease bats. You can't, apparently bats are off limits. And I teased a bat and we got kicked off the internet, but we're back. Definitely appreciate everybody. You guys rock. Thank you very much. Thanks to
Feel
Johnny.
better soon, Johnny.
Get better soon, Johnny. Thank you very much for showing up and sticking around. I mean, we tested. He was still there. You gotta give him a little bit of a kudo there. Anyway, that'll be it for us. Thank you, everybody. I hope you have an awesome weekend. If you're enjoying Far Cry, good for you. Have at it. Any other games?
Take care.
Alan Wake. I'm trying to think of what else has come out. Those are the two. So if you're enjoying those,
The only games. Yep.
the only two games. Peace out, everybody. Have an excellent weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hit this one. Hit this one. Okay, that's not shutting down. Hit this one.
Just
I'm still here,
hit the
people.
reset
What's up,
button.
everybody? Hitting this one, and there we go. That shut down.